It's always the memories. And this is Davis Ford Road, old Davis Ford Road right here. And I used to go to one of the owners' houses back in the day. It's been 1985, 86. You go down that road, and he had a nice house. He's a bachelor. To keep me busy, I would go to his house to pick up his trash, just to give me some hours and keep me busy on slow days. You missed it. That was a funky run. So yeah, I used to come out here, but this wasn't here. That'd have been 85, 86, 87. The cops hang out this road all the time. It's a long haul from here back to Manassas. Wow, back in that job, today was the first time I had a hit. I got shocked on electric, and it's part of my fault. I've worked with live electric many times, and I grabbed the damn hot wire with my one hand, and I'm gonna tell you what, man, that thing kicked my ass. I literally felt the right side of my body get shocked. That was the worst hit I've had yet. And Brian is there like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, I don't know, man. I can feel that whole shock that went through my right side of my body. Now, as you know, if you take two hands and hit electric, you create a whole path of electricity. It shuts down your heart and can kill you. And so that was first time in a long time that I've had a hit where I'm not lying to you, where I literally was like, holy crap, that was radical. Because I grabbed the wire, the bare exposed wire with my hand, and I shouldn't have done that. And something ain't right about that wiring. There's major wiring electrical problems at that gas station where they've got underground wiring issues, and I can sense that through that wiring. Something ain't right. It's tied into that. Owner had four guys out there scrambling to figure out how to get the lighting to work right. And there's no doubt in my mind there's a short somewhere underground that in some ways tied into my equipment. But I put a meter on the equipment. There's no resistance. There's no readings on my equipment. Up here's a cop, what'd I tell you? What'd I tell you? Right there he is. They live on this road looking for the guy going 75. Undercover state boy. Especially with the ways people share the information. So yeah, that was a little rattling. Oof. Ugh, yikes. One thing that people complain about the Waze, it teaches you, if you don't know the area, how to cut through everybody's neighborhood. It is a big problem because if you're not local, you don't know all the secrets of the streets you take to avoid all the main road traffic. And so it is a problem. Like right now, if I didn't have Waze, I wouldn't know to do what I'm doing. It's so weird, this thing kind of jumps around on where you go and where you don't go and blah blah blah. And so why is it telling me to go a different way? I don't know why. It's not really. It's not so stupid. It just said it had a route change on me. It does not have a route change. Out here in good old Manassas, Virginia. Manassas. Back in the day, we used to call people who live in Manassas Manassanites. That was the derogatory term of the lowlifes, the blue collar. When I worked in the parts industry, there was a Fairfax Auto Parts store here called Champion Auto Parts. Same company, different name, and we used to always call the guys out here Manassanites because it was truly more of a blue collar town. Manassas has definitely changed, but back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, it wasn't the sought after upper end Eshkelon neighborhood. So now I'm going to go back towards Mac and Cheese. Got a nice Hurley. Guy walking his doggies. nice park right there. Signal Hill Park. So why did they call a series Signal Hill? Something to do with the battlefield, would be my guess. That somebody was signaling on the hill. Wouldn't that make sense, everybody? This is all, you know, the Civil War battleground territory. If you know the Manassas area, Manassas battlefield. Man, that place is huge. Maximum Auto Outlet goes way down that whole center. I'm pretty sure the owner of Motorcycles of Dulles, Ken and John, that used to be their used car lot. That's where they came from. Those guys came from being a used car lot dealership, and they tapped into a hell of a gig. They tapped into being a favorite of BMW leases, where when people turned into BMWs, they were the go-to dealer for they would buy out the lease, refurbish BMWs, and then resell them. And for the record, they got their dealership going through BMW motorcycles. They had to fly to Germany. They told me the story, they had to fly to Germany and borderline beg BMW motorcycles to give them a dealership. And they didn't really want to give them the motorcycle dealership because they didn't have any real background of motorcycle business, but they knew them through the BMW auto brand, and so that gave them some leverage. But their story is they had to kiss their ass like you can't believe over there in Germany, and they really, and so if I remember right, eventually the deal didn't play out. So then shortly thereafter, they hooked up with Triumph. And so actually Triumph signed a deal with them, Triumph Motorcycles, and then shortly down the road, BMW got a heads up that Triumph got them, and so then BMW then totally reversed their position and gave them the BMW motorcycle dealership. Isn't that something? But they said it was brutal. The German people are like, no, you don't deserve it. You don't qualify. All right, now we're up here on Route 28 that comes out of Manassas that shoots over back to where I live. And look at that pretty indigo blue, whatever it is. I swear, that guy, it looked like a guy did the exhaust tips like what I did to mine. So here we go. And already, the traffic at 2 o'clock, it's already happening. After I did that job, this Hispanic guy pushing around a food cart looking to sell Mexican food. I haven't seen that. And to kind of be not like the deadest city to see that, this guy, you know, I wasn't down in the deadest city. I mean, I was kind of in the commercial area, but that was interesting. The guy was walking around with a food cart and wanting to sell me Mexican food. All right, some roads, some people don't. But look at this here already. There's a dealership. Never go to that dealership. Lindsay, those guys are the worst. They will screw you all day long. They're the worst. I've told that story many times. They're tricksters, man. Those are truly the salesmen in the dealership that truly live up to the scumball sales guys. Yeah, no lie. Just not good people. They'll screw you. Look at their Google reviews. You'll hear one person after another. They were presented one thing, and by the time they got there to buy a car, it was a whole different thing. They were presented one thing in the front showroom. By the time we got to the finance office, it was a whole different thing. The list goes on and on and on. It's used car dealerships galore out here. I mean, there's a used car dealership everywhere out here. Here is a location, A1 Glass. That used to be that and a Bird Tractor Kubota dealership. You know, I'm surprised that guy closed up. That guy was a really cool guy. Bird Tractor, B-Y-R-D, Tractor. He was there forever. And he just got sick of it. I think he just got sick of all the government enforcement, all the... he didn't own that building, so he had to pay police. And, you know, eventually he just threw his hands up in there. It's like, you know what? I've made my money and I'm done. He's probably 10 years older than me, I would say, if not maybe a little older. So they lost the Kubota dealership here in the Manassas area. It's always intriguing to know why people slow down when you're getting to a faster area. I'll never forget going to an area right over there with my good friend Ivan back in 1988, 89. We were looking at moving into a townhouse. I'll never forget going over there and walking around this brand new development. It's right here. This is Manassas Park. Now, Manassas Park really hasn't been known to be the nice area. It really has been known to be really the drug area of this area in Manassas. And so, but we're right on the outskirts of it right now. So my friend and I, in 1988, we start walking around this development, and there's some townhouses there, and it was like the weekend, and the police show up because the police are suspicious of what we're doing on this area. So they approach us, and I said, one friend and I are thinking about, you know, getting a townhouse, and we're just wondering maybe if this is, you know, would work for us. And a lady, Manassas Park police officer, said no. She's like, do not buy a house. So you guys are like very nice young men. This is drug haven. She's like, do not. It's like, no, don't do it. Don't do it. And I'm like, really? She's like, you guys, no. Like, no. So we're like, wow, thanks for the heads up. Today's definitely a day I could have taken the tops off. But you know, my experience has been with these Jeeps, since I don't have the rear top off, just the front two seats, the downforce is insane. And where do you put the tops? I mean, my whole bed is full of stuff. My whole back seat's full of stuff, so I don't have room to put it anywhere. That reminds me, I have Ford Bronco cover sets, Jeep cover sets. These are the bags that you put in your removable panels, and so they don't get all scuffed up. You have these basically carry bags, and I have so much of that stuff. Yeah, think about it. I own one Bronco, two Broncos, then three Broncos, four Broncos, five Broncos from like 2021 or 2022 through 2024. That's a Bronco, over a Bronco a year. So, and a lot of that stuff I kept those accessory bags. It's very challenging to drive the roads when people just they don't drive the speed. They just put down the road. Now this is showing police somewhere. I don't see them. Now we're going over Route 66. You wouldn't know this area. This has all been redesigned majorly. Massive on the infrastructure. Now they have fast lanes. And now we're on the raceway. 55-mile approach the speed limit. If you're not doing 65, 70, you get run over. All the crazies are out now. Good Lord, man. Yeah, unbelievable what just happened. Look here, this is this Route 28 already. That road's cluttered up. People really have to stop. Wow. This is right near Dulles Airport. But there goes a jet right there. My wife's having a hell of a time finding her birth certificate. I'm not so sure we're going up Saturday to get that all resolved. My wife spent the whole yesterday afternoon and evening looking, tearing the house apart, calling her mother, looking for her birth certificate. So I don't think she can get her real ID. There's another. All the crazies are out, everybody, including me. And another data center just got built. Another data center just got built. Data center haven. They just populate like growing grass. After 9/11, they built that wall to protect the fuel tanks. You still just lob something over the wall. And I ain't lying, after 9/11, that's the fuel tank facility for the airport. And his Volkswagen piped. Guy, an old Triumph. What is it? A TR7 or something? Look how dinky that thing is. Something on Triumph pulled back. Building their cars. There's the airport. Dulles Airport. Years ago, this used to be just a 2-lane road on each side of the road. In like 1988 or 89, I think it's 89, because I moved out here. Yeah, 89. This used to be a major intersection, no overpass. And I was coming home about 7 o'clock at night after working all day driving a tanker truck. I was in my Toyota, like Tacoma, extended pickup truck right here at that intersection. As I'm coming through there, probably about 60 miles an hour, a guy pulls out in front of his Blazer. The guy pulls out in front of his Blazer and T-bones me. T-bones me where my truck literally bent his Blazer in half. It's incredible. I jammed on the brakes at the last second. My right foot got so jammed from me hitting that brake pedal as hard as possible. And I probably hit him at a good 45 miles an hour. It's amazing that I even walked away from that crash. But that Toyota pickup truck literally bent the full-size Chevy Blazer in half. Totaled his vehicle. The Toyota, it barely did any damage to the frame. The cab, you can put your finger on each side of the cab, and it was just a minuscule difference. And we rebuilt that truck back to what it was. And for me, I was a fool. I should have sued that guy. He was drunk. He was drunk. He was a drunk driver, older guy, and he played the little party of going to court in his wheelchair with his lawyer there. That he was the guy. He was the victim. I'm just surprised. Like back then, my father wouldn't reach out to me and say, "Look, we're going to sue this guy because you have right to sue this guy because he could have killed you." And I could have settled for a $100,000, $500,000 lawsuit back in 1989. That's just sometimes scratch my head with my dad. Think, why wouldn't that would have been? I would have had all the rights because I did injure my right foot. So his insurance company or my insurance company did offer a $3,000 one-time payment to waive any future claims against that guy. And I didn't take it. But at the same time, in today's world, I'm sure in today's world, the right lawyer could have sued that guy for, I could have just played, I just didn't know. I was too young. I was, 25 years old back at that time. So, 25 years old, right? Wow. The stories are every data center mega territory. It's just data center, data center, data center, data center. One of my subscribers, he comes down here and he works on these data centers. He said for me, I should try to get a gig of being a data center tech guy. I'm sure you can make a good 100, 200 grand a year. So he's very happy. And my good friend Jake from Dulles Dodge, he moved on to a guy that's probably about 10 years younger than me. That is a data center cleaning and upgrading the doors and other things to make the facility much more cooler, more efficient. And so he went to a guy that's making a bloody fortune. The guy has contracts to maintain these data centers and keep them clean and update them with new technology. And this guy's making a fortune. And Jake now is a sales guy for him. And he gets commissions for closing deals for contracts. But the biggest thing is he golfs all the time. So he's now flying all over the country on a regular basis. His passion is golfing. He just loves to golf. So that's all he's doing right now. I haven't talked to him directly, but people I know that know him are telling me that, he's freaking Sam at Dulles Dodge was telling me he's loving life. He's making a great income. He's got a much better flexible schedule, and he's playing golf all the time to schmooze the people to convince them to come over to his company to maintain and service their data centers. That's a huge business, which more people will figure it out as time goes on. It'll be a growing business that people will start to realize that's an opportunity to go out and make a lot of money because there's not a lot of competition. And you got to know what the hell you're doing, too. Bumper to bumper traffic, and I got a Bronco guy behind me. Anybody said Bronco or Jeep? Bronco. All day long. The Bronco's a better riding, more powerful, better package. But I'm surprised they haven't made a Bronco truck. I'm surprised Ford hasn't gotten creative and made a Bronco truck. Why haven't they done that? And they probably are. It'll probably come out in the next year or two. And what's exciting right now? That all the time. My channel is what car, vehicle would I even be excited about buying right now? And should I have the availability to do something? Off the tip of the tongue, I really can't think of anything that's jumping out at me right now. Sure, people are bugging me all the time. Buy a Z06 Corvette, but I'm just saying in general, what's out there that really makes sense? I don't really know of anything. One thing about the Jeep, this thing definitely will rock and roll and get down the road. It's not the quickest off the line, but once she kind of gets rolling, should be more than happy to roll on the road. I'm so spoiled because I'm so used to hitting my adaptive cruise control, and then I can have the lazy foot, and I kind of sometimes forget that. That's very dangerous and kind of driving around, and the future generation of kids, I'm sure you'll hear the story of a kid that grew up in all the technology of a car and adaptive cruise control, then he'll get in his dad's older vehicle or a friend's older vehicle, he'll turn to cruise control, and he'll be oblivious to the fact that it doesn't pace itself, and he'll end up crashing the vehicle because he doesn't understand it doesn't have the sonar or the radar on the vehicle to automatically slow down when the car ahead of you is slowed down. Or somebody like me, you just kind of forget because you're so used to driving around in cars where you don't have to use the gas and brake. The adaptive cruise control does that for you. And then it'll turn into the driverless cars where a guy forgets to hold on to the steering wheel. I mean, it sounds stupid. I guarantee it's the future. Like more, just they're cramming more houses in. Everywhere they can plant a house, they're planting houses. So I wonder if they're converting that country club. That Belmont Country Club's still there. So probably going to build expensive houses around it, and then you're part of the country club. So the Rooster. Does anybody know about the Rooster Ram 1500? I do not. Did that guy create that himself? Or is that a real branded product like the Demon and the Red Eye, the Hellcat? Is that because he had a rooster's little icon on the badge on the side of his car? The Rooster, huh? Isn't that funny? I just bought a Rooster. The kid doesn't see all my YouTube video anymore, so she's kind of, in some ways, she's really out of the loop of a lot of things. I get it. She's not. You're gonna sit around and watch my channel all the time. You're down there having fun with your new husband. Can't blame her. Getting close to Costco. It's gonna be a late day. Time to get in. You see there? It's got a rooster on the side emblem of that truck. What's that all about? There's the song of the lifetime. Money for nothing, chicks for free. Would you sign up for that? Money for nothing, chicks for free? That's the ticket right there, everybody. Ha ha. Yep. Does anybody work anymore? Here it is, 2:40. And already, it's backed up for people going home. I mean, I just seriously think, wow. More townhouses being built over there. It doesn't end, everybody. Alright, so people cheat. What people do is they cheat up here. So this guy's gonna cheat, right? You already know that. So I already know that I'm gonna hit that guy. So they cut in at the last second. Here's another one. Look at that. They drive all the way up and they squeeze in. Probably has to take a number 2. I should yell out the window, you gotta take a number 2, buddy. And I'll be like, screw you, dude. I'll never know how this outlet mall ever got approval of not being forced to have different infrastructure at this intersection. I'll never know who approved that. This is a massive go-to outlet. I mean, it doesn't have a draw per se like it did because of all the online activity, but it's still a very busy center and it's a very busy intersection. And how the town of Leesburg or Loudoun County approved that without forcing them to put an overpass. It's just, but I know what the gig is. It's the money. Whether you realize it or not, that's $2 million a year real estate tax collected for the county. Not including all the sales tax and local tax and metro tax, all the BS tax. That center generates millions of dollars a year for the county. And I guarantee you there's a town tax included. I guarantee it.